and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Salima Rice with Accenture, and we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with John Thompson, the Global Head of Advanced Analytics and Artificial Intelligence at CSL Behring, the second largest biotechnology research company in the world. John is an author, a keynote speaker, and innovator in data and AI technology. He is responsible for creating analytical products, applications, and services that drive change. So listen in to hear John discuss his evolution to Chief Analytics Officer and how he's using AI to make the world a better place. Welcome, John. It is great to have you with us today.
Hey, Salima. Great to be here. Thanks for the invitation. I'm really looking forward to the conversation.
How has your role? So you have a very unique role in that you have all of advanced analytics, you have all of AI. There's a lot of these chief data officers, chief analytics officers roles that we see them evolving over time, right? I mean, I know even for myself, I call myself a fifth generation CDAO because, at one point I was the bailiff, I was the lawmaker, the builder, the value driver, the strategic driver. And so I'm curious, how has your role changed over the last, 3 to 5 years? And how do you see this role of chief data officer or chief analytics officers evolving in the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, that's a great question. It has been evolving and will continue to evolve pretty rapidly. Most people in our field don't step back and think that if you look at the organizations historically, supply chain, manufacturing, accounting have been around for hundreds of thousands of years. The IT function's been around for about 60. The idea that we can use data for a strategic asset's been around for about 10. Maybe even 5, if you want to do different data time checkpoints. So my role has changed dramatically over the last 4 years, just since I've been at CSL. When I walked in, CSL really didn't use data at all. Of course, we had data in our systems and our SAP operations ran and people had sales orders and all those kind of things, but we never really used it analytically to make decisions and change processes. So over the last 4 years, I've gone from being an evangelist and someone plowing, the open field and putting in the early seeds to, now we're actually reaping what we've been sowing. There's lots of people that are popping up every day saying, hey, I'd like to use AI to understand where to predict to put a new plasma center. Or, hey, I'd like to use AI to understand the price elasticity and sensitivity of certain donor segments. These are conversations I wasn't having 2 years ago. So, I really feel like we've taken CSL to a whole new level in the last 4 years from, being not aware to actually being proactive in how we think of data and analytics.
I love that. I completely agree with you. This concept of, we as leaders had spent so many years architecting the data for storage. And one of the things that I've felt for several years now is that the evolution has to start with architecting the data for AI, because, we have to be able to get to those answers faster, more accurately, and really having that platform there is, in my opinion, the single biggest, challenge that we face as organizations are looking for. How do we become more like you? Right? That should be where they should be. People will watch this and say, I want to be like John. So, congratulations.
Well, thank you for that. So to take on your second question, that was your first question.
Yeah.
Your second question is where is the CDAO or the CAO and the CDO going?
Right.
And I do see them going in different directions, and you know this too, Salima. So you can extend my remarks when I finish. Is that the CDO, and I don't mean this in a harmful way or derogatory or anything. The CDO tends to be a defensive position. As you said, you're taking the architecture of what we've been doing, of architecting for storage and efficiency and backup and compliance and security, And we're actually turning that into an architecture and an environment where you can use the data, where it can actually be proactively used rather than just being concerned about losing it. And I see that as more of, tending to the architecture, getting things ready, setting it up, making things work for everybody in the organization. The CAO, the Chief Analytics Officer, I see more in the vein of what I do. It's more of a offensive position. It's more of a proactive position. It's more of a, hey, let's leverage this stuff to change how we work and how we do business. So I see that organizations now, they're generally starting with a CDO and have been for the last 3 or 4 years. And now you see the CDO evolving and growing in their position, and then organizations adding a CAO for the different kinds of things that I was just talking about.
Absolutely. So what is, I know as leaders and legacy leaders like us, I'm curious, what is some advice that was given to you that you received in your career, and why was it so important to you?
Yeah, it was, it's really interesting. It happened when I was getting my master's, my MBA at DePaul. I was working at ABN LaSalle, which is a large international bank, and I was working with an Irish guy named Peter Casey and a Dutch fellow named Renier Mesritz. And I was very young and really excited and wanted to move forward and, all wound up about life. And I'm still excited about life, but probably not as wound up about it. So I kept saying to them, hey, I want to move up. I want to do more. I want to be part of, something strategic and something that makes a difference in the business, which was a bank, was where I was working. And they took me out to lunch, and they reminded me the day before, they said, wear a tie, because we were going to this really nice club in Chicago. And we sat and talked, and they asked me all sorts of questions, and we get to towards the end of lunch, and they said, well, there's only one thing you can do, and that's quit. And I said, what? And they said, you're part of an IT organization in an international bank, and we only have people like you because we have to. You're never going to be part of the strategy of the bank. You're never going to be an important part of what we do, so just quit. Go get a job in a tech organization because you love tech and you love data and we don't. So that changed my life dramatically. And I recently just reconnected with Renier about 3 or 4 months ago and told him that story. And he was just laughing about it. He goes, how'd it work out for you? You looked pretty good. So
that's awesome. Thank you so much, John. It's been such a pleasure having you here today and joining me. Everyone, please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. And thank you again, everyone. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.